Hey, welcome back to another episode of Taste of Asian Food. I'm KP Kwan. In today's videos, I'm going to show you how to prepare tofu and mushroom braised with a number of Cantonese style seasonings. And this is a typical Cantonese home cooked food that we eat every day at home. So without further delay, let's get started right now. Although this is a tofu and mushroom recipe, but I also added some chicken meat, and it is quite common to mix meat and vegetable in one dish, especially for Cantonese cooking. Season the chicken meat with some salt, light soy sauce, some vegetable oil, and cornstarch. Mix well and leave the chicken aside for at least 10 minutes before cooking. Next, the mushrooms. You can use any types of mushrooms that you like. I use the types of mushroom that is easily available at where I live, that is in Kuala Lumpur. This is shiitake mushroom, enoki mushrooms, and king oyster mushrooms. Remove the stem of the shiitake mushroom. Cut the mushrooms into half if the mushrooms are too big. Discard the part that is near to the root for the enoki mushroom. Cut into strips for the king oyster mushrooms. I use firm tofu for this recipe because it is less likely to break during braising. I've placed the tofu for a while and you can see that there's water released from the tofu. You can either put it on a paper towel or a dry cloth to remove the excess water. Gently cut the tofu into cubes. And then I put them on a dry cloth to further remove the water. That's because I'm going to deep fry this tofu and I try to minimize splattering. These are the major ingredients for this recipe. These are the tofu, mushrooms, bell peppers of two different colors for crunchiness and color, some green onions to garnish, the minced meat that we have already prepared just now, some ginger slices, and some chopped garlic. Now let's take a look at the seasoning ingredients. These are the basic seasoning ingredients for most Cantonese cuisine: light soy sauce, sesame oil, some Chinese Shaoxing wine, which is optional. If you want to make it alcohol free, omit it. Of course, you need some salt, some oyster sauce, some ground white pepper, and lastly some cornstarch to thicken the gravy. The first step of cooking is to fry the tofu. The reason of frying the tofu is during frying, it will form a crust on the surface. In other words, the surface will be hardened and the tofu will be less likely to break while we braise the tofu. Once the tofu has changed color, remove it from the wok. Now add some oil to the wok and fry the ginger and garlic. Ginger first. When the ginger starts to turn color, add the chopped garlic. And the reason I add garlic later is because garlics tend to burn quickly. When it becomes aromatic, add the chicken. Once the chicken is cooked, I'll remove it from the wok because if I cook the chicken together with the mushroom, the chicken will be overcooked and become tough. Now let's fry the mushrooms. If it is too dry, just add a little bit of water. Season it with soy sauce, some sesame oil, some wine, salt, oyster sauce, and pepper. Cook for about 3 minutes and then return the chicken meat to the wok. Lastly, add the bell pepper. I add the bell pepper last because I want to retain its bright color. With that, return the tofu to the wok and mix gently. Do a taste test to see if I need to adjust the flavor. No, it's perfect. I don't need to make any changes. Mushroom, tofu, and minced chicken with some Chinese seasonings is a perfect combination, and it is also a common home-cooked dish for the Cantonese family. And if you want to try this recipe, I've included the recipe in the description below the video. Please subscribe, tap the notification, and give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you again in some other similar video soon. Bye for now.